September has ended and October has knocked the door, bringing several financial and consumer related changes along with it. These updates may directly affect your pocket, online transactions and lifestyle decisions. Let's understand everything in detail. Hello friends, my name is Mansi and you have started watching Bosswala English. From 1st of October 2025, the PFRDA, which is Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority, is introducing the multiple scheme framework for non-government NPS subscribers. Until now, your NPS, which is National Pension Scheme account, could hold only one scheme. But with this new rule, you can now manage multiple schemes under just one account. Let me explain this in a very simplest way. So every NPS subscriber has a unique account called a PRAN, Permanent Retirement Account Number. Think of it like your Aadhaar card, but for your pension. Earlier, under one PRAN, you could invest in just one scheme, say equity or debt. But with this new multiple scheme framework, you can actually hold multiple schemes under same PRAN. So basically, one account, multiple investment options. Here is another big update. Now you can go all in with 100% equity. Earlier, equity was capped at 75%. This means if you are young and want higher growth, you can take more risk by putting your entire NPS contribution in equity. Of course, more equity means more volatility. But in the long run, it also means more growth potential. Now let's talk about costs. The pension funds that manage your money charge a small fee. Under this new rule, fees are capped at 0.30% per year and in some cases temporarily allowed to 0.40%. This is actually a good thing because it ensures your money doesn't eaten away by the high fees. So low cost means more money compounding for you. Here's the catch though. Once you invest in MSF, there's a minimum lock-in period of 15 years. That's called vesting. And during that time, switching between different schemes under MFS is restricted. Why? Because NPS is designed for long-term retirement planning and not for short-term trading. Let's make this real. Suppose you invest 1000 rupees every month for 30 years. So this is what happens. So if you go for 100% equity, your money could grow to about 3.3 lakhs to 3.4 lakhs after deducting all the fund fees. But if you choose 75% equity and 25% debt mix, you will get around 2.5 lakhs. Now with the balance of 50% equity and 50% debt, your corpus may be around 1.9 lakhs. See how the allocation makes a difference. The more equity you have, the higher your growth potential will be. But also more ups and downs along the way is what you have. So why should you care? First, this gives you a flexibility to diversify within NPS. Second, younger investors can now take full equity exposure for higher long-term growth. Third, the low transparent fees ensures most of your returns come back to you only. And lastly, it encourages disciplined long-term saving, which is exactly what retirement planning is about. Okay friends, before moving on to the next update, let me tell you about one of the most important thing that you should have in your life, and that is insurance, because it is the most important thing for you and for your family's financial health. Since I am telling you all the updates that might impact your daily financial lifestyle, so in order to not hamper your life with some other uncertainties, so insurance will help you in that. And for that, Axis Max Life Smart Term Plan Plus can help you. They offer a 1 crore life cover at just 578 rupees per month. With this, a 15% first year discount for salaried individuals and 15% first year plus 15% lifetime discount for working women is also there. They have 3 hours claim settlement guarantee. Their claim settlement ratio is 99.7%, and they also offer special exit value benefit. So if you want to have a secured financial life for yourself and your family, do check out their website. The link is in the description. Let's continue with the updates. Second update. Banks are about to switch their domain to .bank.in, which will be effective from 31st of October 2025. So now the RBI, which is the Reserve Bank of India, has directed all the Indian banks that they must migrate their official websites to the .bank.in domain by 31st of October. Now this change will take place because of the security reasons, because many customers fall victim to phishing scams because of fake websites with look-alike domains. Example, sbibank.com versus a real one, which is the SBI site. By standardizing to .bank.in, it becomes harder for fraudster to spoof. Second, to gain the trust. Customers can easily identify the official banking sites now. If it does not end with .bank.in, that means it is not authentic. Standardizations, all banks will follow the same domain format, reducing confusion for the customers. For the users, your old bookmarks or saved links may stop working, for which you need to update them. For example, the HDFC Bank's website will move from hdfcbank.com to hdfc.bank.in. For SBI, it might be now sbi.bank.in and etc. All the banks will have this thing. So this will help customers quickly spot genuine websites and avoid falling prey to the frauds. This change matters because it protects millions of bank customers from phishing risks, and it also brings Indian banking sites in line with the global best practices, because many countries already use this kind of restricted domains like .bank for their financial institutions. It will also provide clarity and peace of mind to the users during online transactions. Third change is in UPI. It might get a discontinuation of P2P collect request, which will be effective from 1st of October 2025. So now from this date, the NPCI, which is National Payments Corporation of India, will stop person-to-person collect request. This means that currently, if you are splitting a bill with your friend, you can request money from them using the collect feature on UPI apps like Google Pay, Phone Pay, Paytm, etc. For example, you pay the full bill and then send a collect request of around 500 to your friend, which they approve to transfer. But after 1st of October, this feature will no longer be available for P2P transactions, which is person-to-person transaction. You will only be able to send money directly, which are like push payments, instead of requesting it. It is still allowed that person to merchant, which is P2M, may collect the request will continue. So businesses can still request payments from customers. The impact on users will be like for casual payments like splitting bills, lending or sharing costs, you'll have to manually send the money instead of approving a request. This move is aimed at reducing the fraud risk, since many scams have been reported where fake collect requests tricked people into authorizing payments. Fourth change is in LIC. The Life Insurance Corporation of India runs the Golden Jubilee Scholarship Scheme to support students from weaker financial backgrounds. The application deadline is 6th of October 2025, where people can actually apply in this. And the scholarship amounts to 40,000 rupees per year, paid in 2 installments of 20,000 each for students admitted to medicine courses. 30,000 per year, paid in 2 installments, which is 15,000 each for students admitted to engineering courses. Now the question is, who is eligible for it? So students must have secured admission into recognized institutions for medicine or engineering, and the family income should fall between a certain limit set by LIC guidance. You can check their websites to know more details about it, and students need to submit required documents like their income proof, their admission letters and academic records. This might be a big relief for many families who are struggling with the rising cost of professional education. Medicine and engineering are among the most expensive courses in India. With this scholarship, they can directly reduce the financial burden on such people. The next change is in bank holidays for October 2025. This month is a festive month, heavily burdened with the festivals, with major celebrations like Dussehra and Diwali, which is spread across the different states. This means there will be multiple bank holidays, varying from state to state depending on original festivals. So if you are going for any work related to your checks, your KYCs, or you want to visit the bank branch for any other important work, you need to plan everything ahead and check the calendar of the holidays first. Online banking, UPI and ATMs will function normally, but branch related activities will be affected. Businesses relying on check clearance or interbank transfer, they might feel some delays. So always check the RBI and your bank holidays calendar for October 2025 in your state, and complete any urgent which is in-person transaction before the holiday rush. So friends, these are the changes which will take place from October 1st, 2025. I hope you have understood everything. If you have any doubt related to this video, you can tell me in the comment section, and also let me know what on other topics you want me to put a video in front of you. And I, Mansi, will see you in the next video.
Boss Wala. Be the boss.